Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ramon. First time you are stopping by, you are welcome. Now, if you are a subscriber, thank you for coming back to watch my video. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to draft this gown with side gathers and elastic slip. So, if something that interested in definitely go watch it. Without wasting much of our time, let me run into the day's tutorial. For this tutorial, I'll be using 3 yards of this baby pink crepe fabric, or you can use any fabric of your choice. If you are bigger sizes, you can use 4 yards. And for the lining, I have it in 2 yards. So you might be wondering why the lining is more darker than the fabric. Actually, I sent my colleague when she was going to the market as well to help me buy the lining, and this is the color that she got for me. I just told her the baby pink. I didn't specify the type of baby pink that I wanted, so I'm going to use it like that. And we also need the zip and the thread, so let's run into the drafting process. So from the edge of my pattern, I'm going to come down by 1 inches, which is going to be my starting point and the shoulder line. So after that, I'm going to roll out a vertical line. After I'm done roll out the lines, I'm going to come down from there by 10.5 inches for the bust point, 13.5 inches for the under bust line, and then 17.5 inches for the waistline. After I'm done marking out the points, I'm going to roll out a vertical line. After I'm not roll out the line, I'm going to go up on the shoulder line and marking my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5 inches. So from there, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. So to calculate your arm length, you need to divide your bust circumferences by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So my bust is 36 divided by 6, making it 6 plus 1.5 inches, making it 7.5 inches, which I'm going to use for my arm length. After I'm done marking it, I'm going to take down my shoulder measurement, which is 7.5 inches. I'm going to mark it there and then connect the points together. So from there, I also roll out a vertical line. So after that, I'm going to label it my chest line, bust line, under bust line, and then the waistline. So from the waistline, I'm going to come down by 9 inches, which is distance between my waist to the hip line. I also roll out a vertical line. So after I roll out the line, I also label it my hip line. After I'm done with that, I will go up on the shoulder line and marking my neck width. So I'm using 3.5 inches, which is the basic neckline, and connect it to the shoulder slope. After I'm not connecting to the shoulder slope, I will find the midpoint on the arm length and then come in by 0.75 there. After I'm done marking it, I'll go down on the chest line and mark the quarter of my bust circumference. So my bust is 30 divided by 4, which is 9 inches. I will mark it on the chest line and then cuff out my armor cuff. After I'm done cuff out my armor cuff, I will go down on the bust line and mark in my bust span divided by 2. My bust span is 7 inches divided by 2, making it 3.5 inches. Your bust span means your nipple to nipple. So I'm going to mark 3.5 inches bust line on the bust line, waistline, and the hip line before connecting the point together. For the waist straps, I'm using 1.5 inches. So if you're small size, you can use 1 inches, and if you're bigger size, you can use 2 inches. So I'm going to divide that 1.5 inches on both sides of the line, take it down to the hip line, and do the same thing before connecting the point together. After that, from the bust points, I'm going to come down by 1 inches before connecting it back to the waist dart. After I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to mark in my waist measurement. So my waist is 32 divided by 4, which is 8 inches. So I'm going to mark it plus 1.5 inches for the waist dart. I'll also return it on the side before using my master ruler to connect it to the chest line. After I'm done connecting it together, the next thing I'm going to do now is to tighten my underbust line. So my round underbust is 29 divided by 4, which is 7.25. I'm going to mark it on the underbust line and then measure what remains, which is 2 inches. So that 2 inches I'm going to use to tighten my underbust, which I'm going to divide it on both sides of the line before connecting it back to the waistline. After that, I will also use my hip cuff to connect it to 1 inch that we cut out from the bust point to the underbust line on both sides. After that, I will go up on the shoulder line and find the midpoint, which is 2 inches. After mark it, I'm going to connect it to the bust point. So from the shoulder line on the center front, I'm going to come down by 7 inches, which is going to be the neckline, and then take in my master ruler to connect it to the hemline. So for the neck tightening, I'm using 1.5 inches. So I'm going to divide it on both sides of the line, which is 0.75 on both sides of the line, and then use this my hip curve to connecting it together to the bust point. I want you guys to pay attention to the way I place my hip curve. On the side pattern, I use the curvy side of my hip curve to connecting it to the bust point, while on the center front, I use the straight part of my hip curve to connecting it to the bust point. So for that V shape that is on the neckline, so on the neckline there on the pattern, I'm going to come in by 1.5 inches and come down by 3 inches, connecting it together. That is it for the V shape that is on the neckline. On the side there, I'm going to come down by 1 inches after the waistline, and then connecting it back to the side line. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to mark in my underarm dart. So to do that, I'm going to minus my back shoulder to waist from my front shoulder to waist. So for my front, I have 17.5, while the back is 15.5. So after minus my back from the front, I have 2 inches left. So that 2 inches, I'm going to use it to take my underarm dart. So to take in my underarm dart on the bust line on the side, I'm going to come down by 2 inches before connecting it to the bust point. After I'm done with that, I'm going to take my waist dart down to the end of the paper. So I forgot to tell you guys the length of the dress. So I'm using 40 inches for the length of the dress, but what I have on the paper now is 39 inches. So I'm going to add the remaining length when I'm cutting out the pattern on the fabric. So after I'm done taking my waist down to the end of the paper, I'm going to connecting it to the hip line like you see me doing so. So after that, I'm going to mark the quarter of my hip circumferences. So my hip is 42 divided by 4, which is 10.5 inches plus 1.5 inches for the dart. So after that, I'm going to measure what I have there, which is 12 inches, and take it down to the end of the paper before connecting it together. So what I'm doing here is to remark with that 1 inch that will come down from the waistline on the side line. On the center front at the end of the paper, I'm going to come in by 1.5 inches, taking it up and also mark that 1.5 inches before using my pencil to connecting it together to the 1 inch that will come down from the waistline. After I'm done using the pencil to connect it together, I also come in by 1.5 inches on the hip line before using the marker to connecting it straight down to the end of the paper, and then use the curve part of my hip curve to connecting it to 1 inch that will come down from the waistline. So basically what I'm trying to do here is to make the line that I've already used my pencil to make it more visible. So guys, after I'm done with that, I'm going to close my underarm dart. So to do that, I need to slash through the shoulder line to the bust point before I can close my underarm dart. After I'm done close the underarm dart, I'm going to use the paper tape to tape it down. After that, you can see that on the side there we have a funny shape, so I'm going to reshape my side line. After I'm done with that, the next thing to do now is to add my sewing allowance, which I use 1.5 inches. So I'm going to take that 1.5 inches down to the end of the paper, connecting it together before I start cutting out the pattern. So guys, that is it for the front pattern. What remains now is to cut out the cape that is going to be on the front neckline. So I'll be using the front pattern to draft out the cape. So I'm going to pick the center front pattern and measure what I have there at the neckline, which is 3 inches. So I'm going to mark it on another paper and then roll it down. So after I'm done rolling down, I'm going to pick the side front pattern and then place it on top of it. So look at the way I place it. So I'm going to use how to trace out the armhole. After I'm done tracing it out, I'm going to use a marker to make it more visible. After that, for the length of the cape, I'll be using 4 inches, but if you think that it's too long, you can adjust it or reduce the length. After that, I'm going to connect it together and cut out the cape. So after I'm done cutting it out, I'm going to label it my front cape, and this is what it's going to look like on the pattern. So guys, we have done with our front pattern. Let's move to the drafting of the back pattern. So from the edge of my pattern, I've already come down by 1 inch, which is going to be my starting line and the shoulder line. So from the side there, I come in by 1.5 inches for the zipper allowance. So from the shoulder line, I'm going to come down by 10.5 inches for the bust line, 15.5 inches for the waistline. After that, I'm going to roll out a vertical line. So from the waistline, I'm going to come down by 9 inches, which is the distance between my waist to the hip line. I'll also roll out a vertical line. So after I'm done with that, I will go up on the shoulder line and then mark in my half of my shoulder measurement, which is 7.5 inches. From there, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope and 7.5 inches for the armhole length before connecting it together. After I'm done connecting it together, I'll also roll out a vertical line. After that, I will go up on my shoulder line and marking my shoulder width, which is 3.5 inches before connecting it to the shoulder slope. After connecting into the shoulder slope, I'm going to find the midpoint on the armhole line and come in by ½ inch. After that, I'm going to come down on the chest line and marking 3/4 of my bust circumference. So my bust is 36 divided by 4, which is 9 inches. After I'm done marking it, I will now cut out my armhole cuff. After that, I will come down on the waistline and mark 3/4 of my waist measurement, which is 8 inches. And the back pattern is going to be dartless, so I don't want to put any darts on the back pattern. So I'm going to come down on the hip line and also mark 3/4 of my hip measurement, which is 10.5 inches, before using my master ruler to connect the point together. After I'm done with that, I'm going to take my front side pattern and place it on the armhole line on the side. Just look at the way I place it. So I'm going to use it to mark in my back neckline. So after I'm done marking it, I'm going to roll out the line to the center back. On the waistline there, on the side line, I'm going to come down by 1 inches like what we did on the front pattern. So at the end of the paper, I'm going to take down my hip measurement down to the end of the paper before connecting it together. So on the center back on the hip line, I'm going to come in by 1.5 inches like what we did for the front pattern, and also mark that 1.5 inches at the end of the paper before using marker to connecting it together, and then using the pencil to cuff it to the 1 inch that we corner from the waistline. Or you can just place your side front pattern on top of it to trace out the line. After I'm done using marker to make the line more visible, I'm going to label my side back pattern before adding my stitches allowance, which is 1.5 inches all the way down to the end of the paper. So guys, after I'm done with that, on the waistline on the center back, I'm going to come in by ½ inches for the zipper bush. So I'm going to blend it to the hip line, also to the neckline. So to remove that ½ inches for the zipper bush, I'm also going to do the same thing to the zipper allowance. This allows me to remove it from the back pattern. So guys, that is it for the back pattern. Let's cut out the pattern. So guys, after I'm done cutting out the pattern, this is what it's going to look like. So what remains now is the side gathers, which I'm going to use slashing and spread method for it. So this is the front and the back side pattern. So I'll be using the front for the slashing method because the only difference from the front and back pattern is the dot that is on the front pattern, and the dot that is on the front is going to be part of the gathers. So I'm going to divide the front pattern into 4 panels. After I'm done roll out the line, I'm going to label the pattern. Label your pattern in a such a way that you're able to identify the panel when you are cutting it out on the fabric. After I'm done labeling the pattern, I'm going to slash it to all the line. So guys, after I'm just cutting out all the panel, this is what it's going to look like. So when I'm cutting on the fabric is going to be unfold. So in my next video, I'm going to share with you guys how I cut it on the fabric and how I also join all the pieces together. So guys, this is the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed the video and you watch this to the end, please don't forget to click the subscribe button down below and also ring the notification so that whenever I post a new video you'll be notified. Don't forget to like, comment and share. See you guys in my next video. Bye.